so when the shield is destroyed, it does a knockback. Up against Blazing Speed, which lets you move faster a short period of time, and then Ice Barrier. This is a fun tier. Polymorph's a signature mage spell, and as we've done with some of the other classes, we wanted to do something that was all focused on that spell. The way this works is Sickly Polymorph, they regenerate health slower. So you can polymorph someone who's pretty injured and they're not gonna heal back quickly. Heavy Polymorph does a stun to the poly target. And Double Polymorph lets you have 2 sheep at once. Like I said, we really wanted these to feel like game changers. We wanted you to see a mage doing a double polymorph, be like, whoa, what's going on out here? I've never seen anything like this. And then crowd control at level 90. Mages are great at crowd control. Here you can have Blast Wave or Dragon's Breath, both of which do a little bit of damage as well, and then Slow. And there's the full mage tree. The Paladin. So at the top is a tier that's about movement, which I know sounds pretty crazy for a Paladin. We totally redesigned Speed of Light. Now think of it as a sprint that also does some healing while you're sprinting. It's up against a modified Long Arm of the Law, so whenever you judge, you get a speed movement. We don't think we need to have the minimum range thing anymore, so judge makes you fast. And then this is a very different Pursuit of Justice, which gives you a 10% movement speed for every charge of Holy Power. So you can think about holding the Holy Power for a little bit so you can go fast, or using it because you need to use it on something else. Tier 30 is a crowd control tier. Fist of Justice replaces Hammer of Justice, but it's a very short cooldown, so you can just go around being the stunned in here. We wanted to make Repentance available to any Paladin. But we wanted to make it a really hard choice because we put a much improved Seal of Justice that does a really legit snare. '45 is a survival tier. Hopefully it'll be a hard choice for the Prot Paladins, but there's good stuff in here for the other two as well. Blessed Life is the modification of the current talent that gives you Holy Power when you take damage. There's only direct damage, so just standing in an AE isn't going to flood you with Holy Power. Sacred Shield is the automatic defense mechanism when you get brought down low, and then Ardent Defender is the activated one. So again, you want to be active, take Ardent Defender. If you want to not have to worry about so many buttons, take Sacred Shield. Paladins heal. We wanted to have a healing tier. There's a very redesigned Selfless Healer, all about Flash of Light. One of the things we did is gave Flash of Light to all Paladins, but Holy Light and Divine Light are holy only. We figured if the other two Paladins really wanted to cast a heal, they would want to cast a fast heal, so we based it on Flash of Light. If you've read the tooltip by now, you can also see we've taken out the RNG here because it just stacks up to 2 times to then give you a 100% chance to have a free, powerful Flash of Light on someone. Eternal Glory is the existing talent, which gives you a chance not to use Holy Power in your heals. We threw in Light of Dawn here, since really now Word of Glory is the single target, Light of Dawn is the group target, and in this case, every Holy Paladin will have Light of Dawn. And then think of Holy Shield as a absorption version of Word of Glory. So not every Paladin will be able to have a shield, but if you want it, there's one right here. 75 is about utility. Veneration is a new idea where if you put down a consecration, your allies in the consecration are immune to movement impairing effects for a little bit of time. Acts of Sacrifice is the existing talent that lets you cleanse snares off of yourself and also reduces the cooldown in your hands a little bit. And then Clemency is a way to immediately finish the cooldown in your hands so that you can cast them again. Finally, level 90 is a really exciting tier that's about burst and cooldowns. Common complaint we get is cooldowns are cool, but Paladins have a little too many of them. So here we let you pick the way you want to do it. And I'll walk through these real quick. Holy Avenger, when you have Guardian of Ancient Kings out, your abilities don't cost Holy Power. Sanctified Wrath varies depending on your spec. For Holy, you can Holy Shock with no cooldown. For Prot, you can Judge with no cooldown. And for Ret, you can use Hammer of Wrath as you can today. We also put Divine Purpose in here. It's a fun talent for some Ret Paladins, but others get frustrated by the RNG. here's a way to get holy power that's not so tied to the cooldown. Sometimes you'll just have more holy power than others. And the full paladin tree. Everyone still here? We're getting there. We're in the home stretch. Stay with me. It's the priest. Priest is a challenge because we have 2 healing specs and 1 damage spec, and we really wanted to make sure that the choices were there. We didn't want to just have, hey, here's 2 healing choices, and then here's the thing that Shadow chooses. So these are some pretty creative talents. Really excited about these. Level 15 is about control. We tried to let players recreate the existing builds they had, so if you just like Psychic Scream, take Psychic Scream and you're good. If you want to try something different, we have 2 new forms of crowd control in here. The Void Tendrils rise from the ground and can root all targets within an area. And the Siphene is kind of an interesting idea where a little Siphene comes out and will Psychic Scream repeatedly on different targets. Level 30 is a fun tier that adds kind of a little wrinkle to some of your existing abilities. Body and Soul, the existing holy talent that increases movement speed after someone's been shielded. Path of the Devout increases your movement speed when you levitate, which, face it, can be quite often. And then Phantasm, when you fade, you remove movement effects and give yourself a slight speed boost. Level 45 is about damage and healing. Again, we didn't want to just be, okay, Shadow always has to take this one, so we wanted to have choices in here. We have Surge of Light and Surge of Darkness, which is kind of the clear casting, and there's a different version for Shadow to make sure the damage still works. Divine Star fires a projectile out that does damage and healing, and then comes back and does damage and healing over the same path again. Never had a spell that works quite like this. Thought it'd be fun to try. And then Archangel. Evangelism is just a core ability now. Everyone will have it, so you don't have to worry about what that means. And then you can have the Archangel or the Dark Archangel to consume Evangelism or Shadow Orbs. Level 60 is about keeping the priest alive. Anyone can have Desperate Prayer, just a big instant heal. Angelic Bulwark increases your shield when you shield yourself. And then Final Prayer is a passive where when you get hurt, without having to click an ability, you'll get a little bit of help. Level 75 is about power. Twist and Fate, it's a very powerful talent, totally passive. It increases damage and healing on targets that are wounded. Existing Power Infusion from Disc, now available to everyone. And we merged Serendipity and Mind Melt into 1 talent choice here that lets you reduce the mana cost and stack the ability, whether it's the heal for Serendipity or the Mind Spike for Shadow. 3 crazy new abilities at level 90. Vow of Unity, imagine that you designate a champion for a short period of time, and you can, when you heal that person, it heals you a little bit like a reverse beacon. Doesn't last the whole time, though. Void Shift's really crazy talent. Hopefully you can pull this off. It just swaps health percentage with your target. So
that's all. No big deal.
Very simple, obviously a lot of ramifications. If the tank is at 50% and you're at 100%, you can swap that health and then quickly heal yourself up. I know, it's awesome. And then Vampiric Dominance is a greatly improved Vampiric Embrace. Shadow used to have this this cool vibe of the self-healer, of the kind of passive heal the rest of your group. We thought by making you choose one of these 3 abilities, we could offer it in a more powerful version. So hopefully we'll see some more Vampiric Priest out there. But again, Holy or Disc could take this, they choose. And the Priest Tree. Rogues. Like the Mage, the Rogue really benefits from this new model because a lot of the cool stuff, which tended to be in subtlety, is now spread out. You should read these tooltips. These are pretty powerful talents all tied into stealth. You can move fast. Your stealth doesn't break for 3 seconds, which has a lot of ramifications if you're a rogue. And Shadow Focus, which is while you're stealth, your abilities are free. Obviously, you can't take both of those together or you would be broken. And that's kind of what we really like about the talent system. Level 30 is about control and survivability. This is the existing deadly throw with a nice movement speed debuff on it as well. The way Nerve Strike works is if you kidney shot or cheap shot someone, it also debuffs their damage for a short period of time. Obviously, the target has to be susceptible to kidney shot or cheap shot for that to work. And then this is the existing combat readiness where you can kind of build up resistance to someone who's trying to beat your face in with his Titan's grip. 45 is about staying alive. Cheat Death is up against a new type of poison. We tried to introduce a few types of rogue poisons. Leeching poison, as you beat on someone, it will heal you for a little bit of the damage dealt. And improved recuperate, which I think rogues are pretty familiar with. Level 60. Here's your Shadow Step as promised, but you'll have to choose it or Preparation. We went ahead and put the glyph part of prep in here as well, so you get all of those abilities listed. Burst of Speed is exactly what it sounds like. It is a sprint on no cooldown that costs energy. Okay, level 75, we have Deadly Brew. Whenever you use Wound or Mind Numbing, you also get crippling on the target. Paralytic Poison will let you paralyze someone. You have to hit them a few times before you get enough stacks to actually paralyze them. And then Dirty Tricks lets you, your Gouge and Blind won't break from damage from poisons and bleeds. You can try to debuff someone a little bit, and then Gouge or Blind them, and they'll continue to take damage. And then, let's see what we did here. You can have any ability you want from any of the bottom of the talent trees as rogues. Shadow Dance is pretty much the existing Shadow Dance, but Killing Spree and Vendetta are fairly different, so let me talk about those. This new Killing Spree, the way it works is you can press the button multiple times, and every time gives you a teleport. We hope this is a little less disorienting than the current kind of bounce all over. You push it once, you blink, you push it another time, you'll go somewhere else. And you can do it as many times as you feel like it within the 5-second window. Vendetta, the real key here is that bottom part about Vengeful Strike. Once you have a Vendetta target, you can use your Vengeful Strike ability. This is the ability that comes with Vendetta. And you'll notice the big key there is that little bit about 30-yard range. Pretty nice for rogues who have problems with target switching or movement or just want to be a ranged class for a short period of time. There's the rogue. You're starting to get it now, and why we're so excited about this new talent model, why we think this is going to be a lot more fun to monkey around